Under the role of politics, we also have strategic approaches, and here the idea is simply that justices have certain ambitions, things that they would like to see that are apart from simply understanding their judicial role or having a particular ideological outlook. An example of this would be the New Deal legislation and the threat from Roosevelt to pack the court. And so those justices sitting on the bench that were ruling, hey, this legislation is unconstitutional, you can't do that, were suddenly faced with the very real threat of having all of their votes basically canceled out by having new justices appointed to the bench. That had a pretty big impact on how they were going to interpret these laws as they continued to come in, and they avoided the consequence by taking a second look at some of their prior constitutional doctrines. External factors, when you have public opinion, partisan groups, interest groups, this is going to exert pressure. This is going to have an influence on justices in their decision-making process. And again, I caution you against thinking, oh, this is examples of corruption or justices who are just ignoring their duty, their responsibility to make their decisions in a bubble apart from all of these pressures. It's not just a conscious decision to, I'm going to be influenced by public opinion. If people are demonstrating and people are, the voice of the public has been made very clear and is very strong, even if you think you're going to now make an objective decision, you can't help but be influenced by that. I think of anything that you do. If you're trying to fix your garbage disposal and you're under your sink and you're pulling it apart, if somebody who's a plumber is sitting there watching you do your job, that's going to have an influence on how you go about it. You might be a bit more careful. There's also the saying that a patient and kind parent is one who's out in public when people are watching. So when you're out in public with your kids, people are watching you, you're going to discipline them a little bit differently than you would if you were just at home in the house. Simply because we're human nature to be affected by everything that's around us. Figure 1.1-2. Let's take a look at that. Now, you guys, you're familiar with checks and balances, three branches of government. But I wanted you to take a look at this this figure because it helps us think about, is the judicial branch really separate from the political process? And what I mean by that is that you have those in Congress, President, who are subject to popular, electoral system, but I mean to elections. What about the judicial branch? We've done things. The Constitution sets up safeguards, such as life tenure, salary protections that are supposed to isolate the judicial branch and make them independent. To what extent has that been successful, and to what extent are the justices nonetheless going to be influenced by the political process?